Bizarre Brain Comics. Oh, yeehaw, pods. Howdy, partner. This here's the Trigger Kid, and I'm here for Bizarre Brain Comics. And it's my job to tell you tales of the Wild West that never was. Yeehaw! Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm the Trigger Kid, your host. And this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. So what I'm going to take a look at this time is something that goes way back a ways. This is Silhouette Western Library. Now this is an Australian comic book, and it's about the size of a digest-sized comic. You can compare it here to a regular-sized comic, and it is basically a digest. It's got 3 stories in it, 2 long stories and 1 short story. And as I said, this is Australian. I tried doing some research on it. Found very little. I have no idea who wrote them or drew them. Some nice, decent stories and nice artwork. And this goes back to about 1960, which kind of fits the look of the paper, and also it has on the inside, front and back cover, is photographs from American Western movies, and these photographs kind of fit with that time frame. Would be pictures from the 50s. So our lead story in this, and this is issue number 22. It's the only one I've got. Now I would like to get my grubbies on some more. Because Silhouette was like that, the house brand, because they did Silhouette did other kinds as the publisher, and they did other kinds of stories as well. But of course, in the Western Library, it was Western stories. Now it's one thing is kind of odd, because hey, Australia had their period that was very similar to the American West, and yet they're doing doing stories of the American West, and kind of fitting with the time period, some of the kinds of stories. But these are unusually long stories, because in American Western comics at this time, most stories were 6 or 8 pages long. But then this has one story that's I think 28 pages, another story that's 33 pages, and then the last story I think is 8 or 10 pages long. And it is an anthology. Whether Montana Bill is a recurring character or not, I presume he probably is. So our lead story is Montana Bill in 3 Hot Guns. And I'll try to be relatively brief going through here, but you'll see the old age of the paper in here. So it's by Atlas Publishing, but that's not the same Atlas that would have been around in the U.S. at that time. And there definitely are not American stories reprinted for an Australian audience. So in this 3 gunmen break into I think it's an assay office or something like that. Break in there, kill at night, kill the proprietor, and take off with a huge amount of money, gold. And they take off. Reward is placed. A posse going out after them, but they evade the posse while the crooks are camping. Here comes Montana Bill, and he's fresh from his diggings, because he's been mining some gold, and he stops to try to "Hey boys, mind if I stop for share some coffee, stuff like that?" And they go, "Sure enough." Then they pounce on him and find that he's got gold. They steal his gold, beat the crap out of him, tie him up to and hang him from a tree, unarmed. So, well, that's dire straits, but his horse is well trained. Comes up and chews through the ropes, holding him up, and then the remains of the campfire burns through his bonds, and he manages to take down an old log, and so then he uses that as a raft to go down river to go around where those crooks are, because they're riding along the river. So he goes past them and sets up an ambush. And by hand, he kind of takes them out, grabs their guns. He takes them captive. He takes his own gold plus the gold that they had stolen, leaves them unarmed, and then takes off. Well, those guys get awful angry with each other, and one guy kills the other two, and so he puts the dead bodies up on the horses, and he heads for town. Well, meanwhile, Montana Bill gets to town. He finds out about the robbery and the death of the guy at the assay office. Well, but he goes in to a general store and starts buying supplies. Meanwhile, that third crook hauls in the bodies. Says that these are two of the guys who did the deed. The third one, he and the third one had ambushed him. Third one got away. And so he says, and talks to the sheriff, and it's him. It's Montana Bill. So they snatch Montana Bill, and sure enough, he's got the packs of gold from that assay office, as well as his own. He says they stole my gold too, and so he gets Montana Bill's gold, and then he has to wait around for the process of the reward. So, but Bill is thrown in jail. He talks with the sheriff and seems pretty reasonable to the sheriff. So he says, "I've got a way to prove it." So while the crook is getting pretty liquored up in the saloon, the sheriff brings Montana Bill in and to talk to him, and because the guy's all liquored up, and he easily gets angered and the like, and he basically confesses, draws down on him, and Montana Bill disarms him, beats the crap out of him, and he gets his gold back, and he's back on his own. And you can see some real decent artwork. Probably maybe comparable to, or if not exceeding, a lot of the American Western comics at the time, depending on the publisher and stuff. Then our second story is Buffalo Hunt. And this is out on the plains, a whole group of men and their little wagon train and stuff are buffalo hunters. And then if you're not familiar with what buffalo hunting was, remember Buffalo Bill, that's where he got his name, because he was a buffalo hunter. And what they did is they would have the hunters, the shooters. There would be a whole cluster of men. They'd have several guys who their whole job was to shoot and kill the buffalo. Then the other guys would come, others would come up and skin them, and the like, because sure. And the reason for these buffalo hunts was that industrialization in the East, they were using buffalo hide for conveyor belts and machinery and the like, and so using buffalo leather, and so because of that, the American buffalo, bison, were nearly wiped out, and in the process, it was eliminating the primary food supply for the Plains Indian tribes. So here they are. They see this bunch of buffalo, and they just sit there and they just blast them. And you think, well, wasn't that because you do that around cattle and they'll stampede? How come it's not scaring the buffalo away? They're just kind of big dumb. They'll stand there just eating away, and they don't realize what's going on. They hear the noise, but they don't associate that with their companions falling down dead. So there were times when hunters would sit on a hillside and just slaughter hundreds of buffalo at a time. So then, meanwhile, a couple of Indian hunters are out there. What's his name? I think it's Eagle. He's the chieftain, and I forgot which tribe. It doesn't matter. And they say that one of the buffalo that that is shot is a solid black buffalo, and they think it's sacred. Now, I've never heard of that before. That may just be made up here, but I know that the white buffalo was sacred for many of the plains tribes. So they come in, they want to get the make a trade for that sacred buffalo hide. And it says, no, it's worth too much money, but if it'll save us a lot of hassle. So they have them go down and start skinning all those buffalo carcasses. So they spend the whole night stripping those carcasses, and then the next day the hunters, well, they renege on the deal and take the going to keep that hide. And tie up the two Indians and haul them along behind their one of their wagons, because they're pretty good and slick with the knife. So they're going to make them basically enslave them to be their skinners for them. Well, here comes another group of Indians who start attacking the group, and they start taking off, and but they wind up having to abandon most of their wagons to get away. And this is a different tribe. I've forgotten which one this is. I think these are Cheyenne, and I can't remember. And the first one was Ogallala, which is Sioux, and these are Cheyenne, I think. So they come down and they see the warriors who are tied up to the wagon, and they free them. Then they recognize each other and chase off the hunters. So that they freed the others, the captives, but they are not necessarily friendly. But they are here with basically a common enemy, and they find the black in one of the wagons. Find that black hide. And so they both of them want that black hide. So they have a challenge. It's a competition between the two that could result in the death of one or the other. But Eagle from the Ogallala, he is the victor, but he chooses not to use the hatchet, the tomahawk, on his opponent, and defeats him barehanded. So they win the hide, and now and said, I could not kill him because he saved our lives. So that was honorable. They take it to their village and put it atop their totem pole. Now, as I understand it, the Plains Indians did not have totem poles. They had lodge poles, and they would have stuff on the lodge pole. But what we think of as the totem pole was from the American Northwest, if I remember correctly. So then we're back with the buffalo hunters, and the Ogallala, they come down and attack the buffalo hunters, and they think they're going to be good with some dynamite, but it backfires when Eagle grabs the arrow with a stick of dynamite on it and sends it right back and blows up their dynamite. So they're basically hot-footing it away, and they lose all their skins. And so this was a refreshing story that the good guys were the American Indians, and they won out in the end. Then another just a real short story of which I won't even go into. But I enjoyed all the stories in this book. I liked all the artwork, and I think they were reasonably well written, and it was a nice contrast to the Western stories that was being produced in the U.S. at the time. So, and which also might have been just as inaccurate on some things as this Australian one was. So I like this cover. So I want to thank you for joining me. So please like, share, subscribe, leave your comments down below, and yeehaw, partner! Tell me what you think of this Australian comic book. Have you seen or read any of these others like this? If you have, let me know in the comments down below. And remember, comics are art.